this is something that I'd heard. He had planned, he had planned for this for he'd been planning for this for, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. So he had a very specific plan in place for when he got this opportunity. And, it was kind of interesting. I didn't realize that he was as close to accepting the Auburn job as what he was when he's given the opportunity. Thad Turnipseed talked a little bit about that in an interview that I'd heard, that he thought he might get the call to go with him to Auburn if it happened, but he was pretty close to taking that job, and he just decided he was going to hold out for something else. I don't know if he what it was, or if he was hopeful that this Oklahoma job would come up at some point, or if it was something else, or what that would be. But I got to think it's incredible patience for a guy like him to turn down a job as good as Auburn is. Now it's not Alabama, and it's probably not a top 10 job in the country, but it's at least a top 15, top 20 job. So I think the plan that he has in place is going to kind of help separate himself as a first year head coach versus a guy that's kind of been been through it.
I have to think that the separation between an Oklahoma level job and Auburn job was the deciding factor, along with his comfort and his knowledge of, and again, I go back to the word comfort, of the Oklahoma environment, the campus, the people involved. He had been there, he had ties. So I got to think that, who knows how much all of that weighed in, but I got to think that both of those were factors in his decision.
Yeah, no, I absolutely think you're right. I think most people, even before what happened this year, I think most people didn't think Riley was a lifer, for in terms of Oklahoma job. Just when I say that, most people didn't think that he would be at Oklahoma until he decided to retire. I think you thought that he might have some interest in the next level. So maybe that in the back of Brent's mind thought that, okay, maybe that was something that was a consensus in kind of the coaching community, that okay, Riley's he's got interest other than Oklahoma before this. And I think all of us found out that was a little bit sooner. His other interests happened sooner than later, but yeah, I mean, it would be interesting if he thought, okay, I'll hold out another 5, 6 years before before I think, okay, maybe this is just not going to be a setup for me to go to Oklahoma. Maybe I find another job, or whatever that is. But I hindsight's always 20/20. But looking into this, I thought Riley he'd probably win a championship or two, maybe here somewhere along down the road, 7, 10 years down the road, as a total 10-year with Oklahoma, and then kind of move on somewhere else. But kind of funny how things change in a year.
Yeah, when you hear about these coaching changes and then get the backstory later, sometimes these decisions and these opportunities show up in the matter of, now we know with Lincoln Riley, there may have been months in the process, but with some other situations, things happen within a couple of days where there was no connection between a coach and a job, and all of a sudden, boom, the dominoes fall, the contacts are made, and decisions are made, and guys who thought they were going to be somewhere for a long, long time get an opportunity that they can't turn down. And then as we see, all the spaces, all the vacancies across college football have to be filled. So the dominoes then start to fall across the country.